Story in Dodger baseball is that Dodgers fans on social media are trying to plan an ovation for Mookie Betts tonight as the Dodgers return to Dodger Stadium to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Yes, it's an ovation similar to the one that we saw the Philly fans do for Trey Turner. Trey Turner had signed that massive contract, and he was struggling to live up to that contract. So Philly fans, who notoriously have booed their players, have thrown batteries at Santa Claus, they're really rough on their team. They went the opposite direction with Trey Turner, and that's why it made national news. That's why it stood out so much, because instead of booing Trey Turner, they rose to their feet. They gave an applause. They chanted his name. And after that, Trey Turner started to get going. And now Dodgers fans, they are trying to do whatever they can to show Mookie Betts that they have his back, that they're supporting their $365 million man. Now, it's been a rough stretch for Mookie Betts. We've talked about it on this show extensively. In this road trip, he struggled. During the Rays series, he struggled. He went hitless, went 0 for 16, hasn't gotten a hit in his last 4 games. And since July 1st, Mookie Betts' last 27 games, he's hitting 181. He has a 236 on base percentage. He's slugging 287, has a 43 weighted runs created plus, has just 2 home runs during that stretch. After the All-Star break, he has an OPS in the 400s. He has a batting average sub 200. This is a future first ballot Hall of Famer if he's putting seasons together like we've seen him do with the Dodgers. But if this is the current Mookie Betts, maybe he just gets into the Hall of Fame, which is already one of the most incredible things you can ever do. But the point I'm trying to make is that this is not just a good player. This is not just an all-star. This is a future Hall of Famer that will have an interlocking LA logo on his hat, on his plaque. This is the same guy that was traded to the Dodgers from the Red Sox. Then COVID hit. Then there was a lot of speculation. I'll never forget fans out there that were trolling Dodgers fans, trolling the Dodgers, saying that Mookie Betts would never play a game for LA because he was going to hit free agency. Well, not only did that not happen, Mookie Betts would ultimately sign a 12-year, $365 million deal with the Dodgers before opening day. And he committed to this organization, and he would go on to win multiple championships. I remember at that initial press conference, it was via Zoom. Mookie said, "I'm here to win rings," and there was an S attached to the end. Rings, plural. He's already done that with the Dodgers, 2020 and 2024. And the hope for Mookie was you would have prime years after prime years. And up until this year, he was playing all-star to MVP level baseball throughout his time with the Dodgers. But this year, the drop-off has been significant. The drop-off has been something that no one could have predicted, because it's not like, oh, he's losing 20, 30 points off the batting average. He's losing some power, losing some home runs. No, this is a guy that just has suffered the worst season of his career, and he's cratered in a lot of different statistical categories. Mookie Betts in his career has been a 290 hitter. At his very best in 2018, when he won the MVP, he hit 346. That batting average this year is down to 233. The on base for his career, average 369. At its best in 2018, 438. So you're down to 305. Slugging, career 512. This year, 358. Weighted runs created plus, 136 for his career. His high was 185 with Boston in 2018. His high with the Dodgers came a couple years ago in 2023, when he had a career-high 39 home runs and was 65% above league average, posting a 165 weighted runs created plus. This year, that number's down to 85. Mookie has really struggled. I saw a tweet over the weekend that read, "The Mookie Betts fall off is the saddest thing in human history." Something extremely dramatic like that. And while that's a little over the top, I think the point remains that this is a really significant drop-off. I mean, you're basically getting half of the Mookie at the plate that you got a couple seasons ago. You're literally getting half of the Mookie that you got in 2023 offensively. Now, why is this? What has been leading to this? It's been well documented. We talked about it on the show a lot. Lost almost 20 pounds with a stomach illness at the beginning of the season. And yes, that illness was significant. He said as he was going through that he has been playing underweight. And he said, quote, just the fight that I've kind of been through, the ups and downs, the nights where I'm just crying because I'm sick. My wife was there just kind of holding me. And so that's really where that emotion comes from. Then obviously winning for the boys. And that was after he had the walk-off home run early on in the season. And he did gain the weight back. My question is, was there some muscle that was lost? I mean, how did that impact him? And then he gets injured during the season, hurts his toe. He runs into a nightstand in the dark. And then his stepfather passed away recently, and he was in his life since he was in fourth grade. So the emotional toll of that. There's just been a lot that Mookie Betts has dealt with this season. And then on top of that, he's playing shortstop at an everyday level for the first time in his career. Every single day. The rigors, the physicality of the most demanding defensive position outside of the catcher spot. The captain of the infield, the guardian of the infield. And for most of the season, Mookie has been an average to an above average shortstop. In the last month, though, those numbers have started to decline. He's been a -3 outs above average from July up until this point. So you've seen the bat decline, you've seen the defense decline, and I think body language, you've seen just him searching for answers out there. And Dave Roberts said that Mookie told him that it's something mechanical, and there's been a lot of talk about his top hand and finding those hit cues and just trying to be that hitter that he's been for most of his career. Well, the frustrating thing is it's not like he's striking out more. A lot of times when players fall off, you see those strikeout numbers skyrocket. This year, he's striking out just 11.1% of the time. The walk rate down from his career averages, but it hasn't absolutely cratered at 9.4%. So it's not the strikeouts. It's not the walks. It's the fact that the old Betts, when that piece of wood that he holds when he's in the box, when it hits that baseball, usually there was more damage. Usually it was hit harder. And that has been the biggest issue this season, is when he makes contact. In years past, that ball would go over the wall. That ball would find some grass. That ball would go down the left field line for a classic Mookie Betts double. But all of those numbers have trended in the wrong direction. His hard hit rate is at 16%. 16% for his hard hit rate. When Mookie Betts was flying, winning MVPs, in the conversation for best player in baseball, he was bright red, 96th percentile in hard hit rate when he won the MVP. 96th percentile in hard hit rate when he won that award. But let's just take his best season as a Dodger, right? We're going to look at his best season as a Dodger and compare that to this year, because his best season as a Dodger was 2023. That's when he actually finished with more WAR than Ronald Acuna Jr. And he was phenomenal that season. Career high 39 home runs. That August was incredible, like 51 hits. Just insane. That was just 2 years ago. And that year, his expected slug was 563 in the 90th percentile. This year, expected slug down to 396, 32nd percentile. Hard hit percentage, 48.5%, 86th percentile. Barrel percentage was 12.4%, 82nd percentile. That number's down to 5.1% in the 18th percentile. And then there is the bat speed, which everyone talks about, this whole bat speed thing. And yes, bat speed is important. And I think that the margin for error for Mookie isn't the margin for error for a bigger, stronger player a more prototypical slugger, Shohei Ohtani. Of course, Aaron Judge is the greatest example of the tallest and strongest. But this dude isn't north of 6'10 or 6 feet. He's 5'10, 5'9, wherever he's at. And the bat speed has gone down to 68.9. That's the 11th percentile. His best year with the Dodger, that was at 71.3 in the 38th percentile. So even in his best year with the Dodgers, he did not have above average or elite bat speed, but it has gone down pretty significantly. So unfortunately, he's going through this, and it's an extended slump for Mookie. And then there's this whole standing ovation thing I want to talk about. Now, I don't try to gatekeep. I don't try to tell fans how to fan. I think there's nothing wrong with fans going out there and giving Mookie Betts an ovation and applauding for him and chanting Mookie, showing him that this fan base, that, let's be honest, one thing I love about the Dodgers fan base is we're the realist. We're the keep it 100 fan base. We're not out there booing our players after they just strike out once like the Phillies fans. But let's not forget, the same fan base wanted to trade Max Muncy for an 18-pack of Modelo's. This is the same fan base that wanted to trade or option Andy Pages and the things they've said about Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates, right? It happens, right? It's baseball. Baseball is that sport where 162 games a year, your emotions are dictated by what these 26 men wearing Dodger blue can do. And I don't think it harms it, right? But I do think that it's very different than the Trey Turner one, just because I can't ever remember fans ever booing Mookie Betts. I can't ever remember fans not supporting Mookie Betts. We love Mookie Betts. Name a Dodgers fan that does not love Mookie Betts. And here's the thing. The truth about this, just kind of seeing these guys up close and personal, talking to these guys, there's no fan out there or group of fans out there that wants Mookie Betts to get back on track more than Mookie Betts. Nothing that we can do will make Mookie Betts work any harder. Freddie Freeman said it after the game, that Mookie is putting in the work, that he grinds harder than anyone. During the All-Star break, he had a medicine ball between his elbows, trying different things with his swing. He went out to eat with Rob Van Scoyac during the Tampa Bay Rays series, all kinds of stuff. He's doing everything he possibly can. And yeah, I think showing some support is great. There's no doubt about it. But I think that there's some deeper issues in play. And I think you just separate. Let's say Mookie was hitting 300 this year, was an all-star, was the Mookie Betts we've seen throughout his career here, where he's still great at the plate. I still think you can have the conversation that him being the shortstop doesn't make the most sense for this Dodgers team in the postseason. So my perfect lineup for the Dodgers would be this. And I never thought I'd say this, but you do have to move Mookie Betts out of the top of the lineup so he can get his confidence back, so there's less pressure on him to deliver. And then he goes down there, finds a hit cue, starts to see better results. You see that megawatt billion-dollar Mookie smile, and he just had more fun out there. And then boom, it's instantly he goes up in the order again. But I think that you could do more harm than good to just keep him up there because of who he is, because of what he's done, because the kind of contract that he signed, because this is going to continue to snowball, right? And it's probably not going to happen overnight, but if he goes down the lineup, I think you put him in a more comfortable situation for right now. And then, hey, he's faced adversity a lot throughout his career, right? Didn't make his little league team and things like that. His mom had to start a little league team. Like, he knows what it's like to be the underdog, to face some adversity and work through some things. This is who he is. The man's a winner. He already won at life. It's just about finding his way back on